Have you ever wondered how technologies like Amazon Alexa, Google Assistant, or Cortana work? If you're like me, these technologies were things you only saw in Star Trek as a kid and thought they were awesome. Now they have fundamentally transformed the way we interact with technology. The Lewis API, or Language Understanding Intelligence Service, is one of those technologies that makes this possible. Let's explore how this works. So, reviewing our basic input-output model here, we see that we can take on, off, and then anything else is invalid input, right? We're all familiar with this. It's simple, it's easy to understand, but it's not very flexible. If we want to make this more flexible, we could just add a bunch of OR conditions onto this, and we could increase our flexibility. But that makes our code less readable, makes it harder to understand what's going on, and becomes less performant when we really start adding a whole bunch of different options. That's the problem that natural language service was intended to solve. So here we send something to the API, and then we get back a JSON object. So this is how that works. We first send our input from the user. In this case, we call it an utterance, or that's what Lewis calls it. And then, so in this case here, we send the input, turn the kitchen light on. Lewis then derives intent, what the app is doing. So in this case, we have light on, right? Then entities are identified. So these are things that are related to our intent. So in this case, we have kitchen. So let's see what this looks like in action, okay? Here I have the Lewis dashboard. We're going to create an app. Call it SPED. Okay, or there's a SPED doc. Okay. And here we are in the intent screen. I'm going to add an intent. So we're going to add right? Okay. So we have this added. I'm going to add a few more utterances here. This makes it a little bit smarter. Or actually, sorry, I did that wrong. We just need to make this light on, because this is the intent, right? We aren't trying to add the utterance. Okay, there we go. Now we add the utterances to the intent. I'm going to add this really quick, okay? Okay, so I added light on, light off as intents. Now I can go ahead and I can add some entities, which I've already done. Now when you add those, you can go ahead and map it in this fashion, right? So I'm just left clicking here. I'm going to do this really quick, just to save time in my presentation. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've identified some entities in my intents. So now you're going to go up here and you click train. This takes all the changes that we've done here, and it applies them. So now they're applied, and now we can test them. So I can go in here. I can say, please turn. And so we can see that it got light on. That's good. And it identified correctly our kitchen entity. So when we're ready to publish this, we would just go here, and we can choose to do a production. I'm going to choose staging because I don't have an application to put this in. And I can publish the staging slot. Now this is done here. I can go ahead and click this endpoint here, and you can see this has everything that you need to do it. And I just put in what I want to get returned back. And check that out. So it gave us a score of 99% accuracy that this is meaning light on, and then it gives us our entity. So pretty cool. Applications can consume that, and this becomes extremely helpful in keeping your application simple and but still gaining a lot of flexibility. Been using this with my chatbot. Super excited to implement this in the coming weeks. If you guys have any questions about how this works, please feel free to hit me up. Hope you enjoyed this presentation.